As we meditate longer, we all experience changes in many aspects of our lives. One of these is the area of personal relationships. My question is to ask you to discuss the nature and role of personal relationships such as friendships and more specifically marriage for the person living in a fulfilled state of life in higher consciousness, CC, GC, or UC.
You want a picture of ideal state of life in CC and GC and UC. What happens in we should first have our vision clear about these states. What is CC, what is GC, what is UC. And then having seen the structure of UC and GC and CC, we consider this structure in view of personal relationships. Friends, husband and wife, family, whole society, in the perspective of all personal relationships. It is our experience that if the two friends are, each of the two is selfish, one wants to derive maximum from the other, and he wants to derive maximum from him, and he wants to derive maximum from him. Both are on the lookout of gain. When both are on the lookout of gaining, he wants to gain and he wants to gain, he doesn't give and he doesn't give. When no one gives, then no one gains. If the viewpoint is to gain from him, and he wants to gain, and he wants to gain, that means there is that thriftiness. One doesn't want to give, and then one doesn't want to give. When no one gives, then no one gains. And therefore, this selfishness, not selfness, but selfishness. When the self is very small, tiny, and that tininess of the self doesn't open, when the self doesn't open, then it doesn't give. So neither, and then without opening, it's not possible to gain, because for the gain there has to be entrance to enter. This gain should go. And if this is closed, this gain doesn't go. It can go only when it is open. When it is open and inviting. Open and then only something can go. And selfishness is closed. It's closed. In the closedness, when one is closed, one automatically creates a situation that expansion is not allowed. When one is closed, when your doors are closed, you don't expand. Expansion, maximum expansion and maximum gain is only possible when both meet on the level of giving. One wants to give, one wants to give. So both are anxious to give, and in this anxiousness to give, both receive maximum. One is fulfilled in giving, the other is fulfilled in giving. Both are fulfilled in gaining. This is ordinarily called selflessness, which we don't want to call selflessness, because the self is no more less when it is fulfilled. We choose to call it self fullness of the self. It's a real quality of the self, unbounded, fulfilled. On the level of giving, self is fulfilled. Vice and versa. When the self is fulfilled, then the giving is maximum. Giving is maximum and then the self is fulfilled. Or the self is fulfilled and giving is maximum. Because if one wants to give what one can give, only whatever one has one can give. And if one is not open to infinity, one has only finite values to give. And infinite values with boundaries, nothing much can be given. So if one wants to meet on the level of giving, then one first must have the ability to give maximum. And to have the ability to give maximum, one should live infinity. Without opening one's awareness to the unboundedness, one would always remain in the finite values. And in the finite values, one would never be satisfied for one's desire to give. And therefore, when one wants to meet one's friend on the level of giving, one meditates, expands one's mind and heart, gains more of infinite values, and from that level he comes out to challenge his friend. Come on, now I have so much to give, be ready to take. And on this level of giving, he comes out with full heart and full mind, infinite unbounded value of giving. He has no restriction from his side because he is full. And he also walks out of his meditation and says, come on, I am also full. Let the two fullnesses meet together and make life of two fullnesses. This is friendship. Without meditation, friendship is a little bit hanging on circumstances, moods, selfishness. So this fish is a small something. What is that friendship? Today you say, how are you doing? Hello, hello. The voice is not full and the heart is not full, and the pressure of suspicions and pressure of limitations, one doesn't open oneself. When one is not open to oneself, when one's awareness is not open to that unboundedness, one has not the ability to open to something else, because when one is within boundaries, then one is limited. And in limitations, the desire to give will never be fulfilled, because deep within oneself, one is unbounded, unlimited. Even if one is not aware of that unbounded status, but that is the reality of life deep within. Even if one is not aware, but that is the reality of the life deep within. And therefore, one would never be satisfied in the field of giving if one is not embedded in that unboundedness. And when this awareness open to infinite value meets with this another awareness open to infinite value, then the friendship is unrestricted, relationship knows no boundaries, and then it's the swelling of hearts in fullness. The difficulty comes when this heart is restricted and this heart is restricted, and this doesn't open full because it hasn't gained that unbounded awareness. So this doesn't open full because it has not gained unbounded awareness. And in restrictions, not much fun of life. There are restrictions. In restrictions, friendship depends on what one says. If one says something less interesting, then the friendship is broken. So one has to keep on saying something nice all the time, unnatural. Such a friendship can be taxing, where you have all time to be on the alertness and all the time in suspicion. What has happened? And what has happened? In this suspicion state, one is bound, one is restricted, full of doubts, dissensions. What may happen? This, he said like that, what it means? She said like that, what it means? There is always a doubt, suspicion enclosed. When our awareness is closed, bound, and when our awareness is full and unbounded, there is that always. The whole ocean is in move, and when the ocean moves, then the ocean moves, and when the two oceans meet, it could be terrific. When the Pacific and the Atlantic, and then if they could meet, and then could be great. So all relationships, the key to all successful relationships is to have one's heart fully developed, mind fully developed, so that one is full. And in the state of fullness, how much wave comes from this side, that will create another wave of fullness in the heart. If another color wave comes from this side, that will create another wave of fullness in the heart. So the friendship, marriage, relationships, all these find their fulfillment spontaneously in fully developed potential of the individual. If the individual has fully developed potential, he will enjoy friendship, relationship, marriage to the fullest extent. If the potential, half potential is lived, then half enjoyment of the possibility through relationships, friendships, marriage, everything, half. If 1/4 potential is lively inside, then all the relationships, friendships, marriage, everything will be enjoyed in the quarter of the possibility. Possibility will be great, but the actuality of achievement will be only quarter. One can be to others to the extent one can be to oneself only. If I can't have that fullness of life to myself, how can I be to others? Only in that measure, in whatever measure I am to myself. The key to relationships is to take care of our own self. We meditate, and then our potentiality is being used more and more through practice, and then a time will come when we are using our full potential and we are fully developed heart and mind, and with fully developed heart and mind, all relationships will be enjoyed just because we are able to give maximum of ourselves to others. When we are able to give maximum from our side, we are spontaneously capable of deriving maximum from the other side. It's always that. Mother gives maximum to the child, and then the child responds to the mother. It is the unrestricted flow of love from the mother's heart that nourishes the child, that brings the child up. So the basis of enjoyable and successful relationships is the level of pure consciousness, which is so easy to gain through TM. What happens in cosmic consciousness? The self is permanently unbounded. Our awareness is self-awareness. Our awareness knows no boundaries. In cosmic consciousness, the self has come on the level of conscious mind. In the beginning days of meditation, we say transcendental is the value of the self. When our awareness transcends all thought, then that pure awareness is gained. This is transcendental meditation. But when that transcendental, unbounded area of life becomes an all-time reality on the level of conscious mind, then we say that unbounded awareness is established. It's permanently established. Unbounded awareness is permanently established. Of sleep. One is sleeping, but inside one is awake, and that unbounded awareness is not shadowed even by our sleep state of consciousness. We are asleep and inside awake. We are dreaming and inside awake in that unbounded consciousness. We are acting in the boundaries, performing actions, looking, talking, doing things, and yet our inside awareness, that unboundedness, is not lost. In the beginning that was only transcendental consciousness, and now it's no more transcendental. It has come along with all these relative activities of waking and dreaming and sleeping consciousness. Such a state of permanent awareness, permanent unbounded awareness, along with all activities, gives a man stability in that non-changing feature of life. Everything in the waking, dreaming and sleeping is constantly changing. This is relative life. But that absolute field of life, non-changing awareness, is maintained with all these changing phases of awareness. Changing phases of awareness, non-changing phase of awareness, both these continue to remain all the time, and such a life is said to be in cosmic consciousness. This is cosmic consciousness, that we act and perceive and behave permanently established in unbounded awareness. In this state, relationships are on the top level of possibility. Unbounded awareness. Unbounded awareness. Everything that we do has the support of that non-changing, stable being. Now, we compare this state, what it may be like. It's very simple, it's very easy to even intellectually conceive of it when we are growing in that value through meditations anyway. Now what happens? A poor man goes to the market. He may have maybe $5 in the pocket. And then he spends $1. And he has that awareness of $5. Every dollar and every penny of $1 is a pinch to him. He enjoys purchasing something, but he knows, now only $4 remain in my... That awareness deep within, that there are only $5, and this must take me through at least 1 week till the day of the payment. One is not able to enjoy the purchase that $1 brings, because there is some carefulness attached with that spending of $1. Every dollar is spent, it brings some joy, but underneath there is that feeling of insecurity on every wave of joy that comes, every wave of joy that comes by spending and purchasing something. Underneath there is some caution, there is some insecurity, there is some fear, maybe very little, but there is that. A wealthy man goes to the office, and he has that awareness, dollar doesn't mean anything. He only thinks something when he has to spend $1 million. Under that, he just doesn't think. When his dollar has the stability in that unbounded wealth, then the wave of joy that comes to him by purchasing a thing, by spending that dollar, that wave of joy has no pinch underneath it. It's only a joy, a wave of joy, whatever small or big, but it is free from that pinch which is lively in the case of a poor man. Poor man also enjoys spending $1 and purchasing something, but that wave of joy has a pinch underneath. A wealthy man has only a wave of joy, without any pinch. This is the situation in cosmic consciousness. When our awareness is wide open, unbounded awareness, every activity has the support of that unbounded awareness. Every activity starts with full potential of one's creative intelligence. No fears, no cramping of the heart, nothing. Every activity has the maximum support, maximum energy, maximum intelligence, maximum utility within those boundaries, because it is supported by that unbounded awareness. No pinch. Free one flows. The feeling in a child, mother is at home. Just that feeling underneath him, mother is at home. All safety, all fearlessness. He jumps high, and even if he breaks his knees, doesn't matter. The mother is at home. That security, that stability, that fearlessness based on that feeling of fullness, mother is at home. That, like that, unbounded awareness, whatever boundaries it takes to operate here and there, every wave of activity within relative fields, within boundaries, has the support of that unbounded awareness. He doesn't have to stop and think. He can only proceed and progress and create waves of fullness. Every activity, every relationship, every exchange brings the flood of full life, a wave, a tidal wave of all joyfulness, happiness. This is the level on which every relationship is a wave of joy. Every relationship is doing justice to itself. The purpose of relationship is exchange of hearts, exchange of mind, exchange of life, waves. It must create waves of life. And a wave will be created according to the size of the pond of life. If a small pond, it can only have small ripples. If it's a big ocean, it can have tidal waves, high tidal waves of the ocean. If awareness is localized, small waves of joyfulness through any exchange, through any relationship will be small. In that big ocean of life, when the awareness is unbounded, every wave will be a tidal wave of life. And life is bliss infinite. This is the status of a relationship when one's life is fully developed.